All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We are talking about the Detroit Lions because Broncos John Morton is currently the leading candidate to replace Ben Johnson for the offense coordinator job over in Detroit. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Lions are working to hire Denver Broncos pass game coordinator John Morton as their next OC. He's currently en route, in pursuit. I have a feeling that probably by the end of tonight, we'll know if he is more than likely going to be the Lions offensive coordinator. So this has me pretty excited. Morton, this is a former NFL player. I think he went undrafted back in 1993. He's from Auburn Hills, Michigan. He went to Western Michigan. This is a homegrown guy. He also used to be a part of the organization, but Morton was a senior offensive assistant for the Detroit Lions under head coach Dan Campbell during the 2022 season. Him and Campbell also previously worked together with Sean Payton back in New Orleans in the year 2016, where Morton was the wide receiver coach and Campbell was the position of assistant head coach / tight ends coach. Morton last worked, and the only time he's been an NFL offensive coordinator, which I understand maybe some skepticism here, or skepticism, probably the good word. He was the offensive coordinator for the New York Jets in 2017. But like I said, he went undrafted in 1993. He actually bounced around, played for a couple of NFL teams like the Green Bay Packers and the Oakland Raiders and a handful of others. And then in, I believe, 1997, maybe it was 98, 97, that season, that football season, was when he officially became a part of the Oakland Raiders coaching staff. So welcome back to the channel. Obviously, we're talking about the Detroit Lions in today's video, but before we do, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Lions content. Try and get this video to 100 likes, folks. That would mean the absolute world to me. So a couple of things real quick. He also served as the offensive coordinator for USC back in 2009 and 2010, but he was the pass game coordinator for Denver last season. So he had a huge hand in the development to rookie quarterback Bo Nix, who just had a phenomenal season. I mean, they went 10-7. They snapped their playoff drought with a rookie QB in Bo Nix, where he threw for 3,775 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and like I said, led them to their first playoff appearance since 2015. Now, his only NFL experience as far as being an offensive coordinator was in 2017. But just for some examples here, he was the wide receiver coach in New Orleans, like I said, from 2015, 2016. He was a senior offensive assistant for the Raiders back in 2019 to 2021. He was with San Diego as their passing game wide receivers coach back in the day, the tight ends coach for the Raiders back in 2004. My point is, he's been all over the place, but he's also been with some really good coaches, specifically Sean Payton, who he's with or was with in Denver. But I just want to go back to the 2017 New York Jets season because I'm sure a lot of people are wondering about it. No, Sam Darnold was not there. This was a Todd Bowles-led team. All right. The offense coordinator, like I said, is John Morton. The defensive coordinator, anyone want to take a guess? It was Casey Rogers, the new defensive line coach for the Detroit Lions. But they went 5-11. And I just want to say this real quick because I don't really remember watching the Jets in 2017. Anyone want to take a guess who their quarterback was? Just take a guess, maybe pause it, take a guess. It was Josh McCown. It was more specifically a 38-year-old Josh McCown who started and played in 13 games, went 5-8, but he had a completion percentage of 67.3%. He had 18 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, thrown for 225 passing yards per game. So I just thought that was pretty funny. Josh McCown at 38 was the starting quarterback when John Morton was the offensive coordinator there. And then if anyone was curious, McCown ended up playing 2 more seasons, one with the Jets where he started in only 3 games. Obviously Morton was gone. And then in Philly, when he was 40 back in 2019. So career-esque, that sounds rude. I don't mean it to be rude, but career resurgent-esque season from Josh McCown, even though they won 5 games. But that's just my point is he's been all across the block. And so I even kind of want to use this as an example. So this came out of left field to me. I wasn't sure if it was going to be Scotty Montgomery or Tanner Engstrand. Tanner Engstrand, currently the passing game coordinator for the Detroit Lions, but there were big rumors that he was going to possibly be the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. But then late last night, during the fourth quarter of the Bills-Chief game, Ben Johnson with Chicago ends up hiring Declan Doyle, who's 28 years old, and just like John Morton, was coming from Denver. So Declan Doyle, the new offensive coordinator for Chicago, was the tight ends coach for the Denver Broncos for the last 2 seasons, and he's been with Sean Payton for a very long time. So you can kind of catch the drift here. People were very worried about bringing in an outside or an inside guy for both offense and defense, right? Maybe one. And then Kelvin Shepard, a couple of days ago, gets promoted. The linebackers coach for Detroit gets promoted to be the defensive coordinator. And I checked my comments just before I made this video. Everyone was very against it. A lot of people were very against it, or at least the outspoken ones were against it. I'm curious what Lions fans are going to think about this, because I guarantee you people are going to think this is an unproven coordinator pick, which I can understand because he's not, like Cliff Kingsbury, or he's not Ben Johnson, for example. But the point just is, I really like it. And I think good coaches always hire good coaches. So that was like my whole thesis, my whole ethos with Dan Campbell. Like, before they hired anybody, by the way, this is just reported, but by the time you guys watch this, it might already be pen to paper. My whole point was good coaches hire good coaches. And Dan Campbell worked with Sean Payton for a while. Sean Payton is one of the best coaches in the NFL. And so you can kind of tell, like, all right, Ben Johnson and a lot of these other teams are snagging people from Detroit's coaching staff, but now you're seeing other teams kind of pick assistants and coordinators or whatever from the Denver Broncos. So this happens. This just happens. And this is a huge promotion for John Morton. But, as far as being worried or concerned about this, I really wouldn't until we see it actually come to fruition. But if this report does end up going pen to paper and it ends up being an inked deal, I do really like that Detroit went one in-house and one out-of-house guy, this one being John Morton. He's going to join a loaded Detroit Lions team. And the whole kind of thesis with Scotty Montgomery and why he was the leading candidate for this was, it's a run first team, or they want to be a run first team, with Jahmyr Gibbs coming off 1,400 plus yards, Dave Montgomery being injured, rushing for pretty much 800. They wanted to be a run first team. So a lot of people were thinking Scotty Montgomery is going to be the guy because he's the running back coach. Nope. Apparently it's going to be John Morton. So I really like this. But as far as like, oh, here's exactly why it's going to go down, here's the exact scheme he's bringing in, we're going to have to wait and see. But folks, I wanted to get this video out to you guys because it is breaking news. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. Dan Campbell knows what he's doing. Trust it. Trust the process. All right. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for me. But guys, go ahead and give me your thoughts and opinions, or a grade rating on John Morton. Give me a grade rating on the whole Detroit Lions coaching turnover. Let me know all your thoughts, good and bad, down below. We'll see you maybe later today, but probably tomorrow.